by the Washington Redskins. Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Power politics is the game, but power football is the passion.
Hey, it's just a game. No, not to these people. It's not just a game.
The one thing that people focus to, outside of all the political aspects of this town carries, is football.
For more than 2 decades, the Redskins have pounded out the wins on a regular basis. But Campaign 93 has been one of constant defeat, and Washington is finding out about a new form of capital punishment.
The rope's ready. I think they're out looking for a tree right now to find it if we don't turn this thing around.
So far, it's been kind of like wait and see. Give them another week. Give them another week. But we're running out of weeks. It's time to start playing some ball.
If the Colts are going to make a run at the AFC East title, they have to start tonight. Another loss, and the frontrunners will be too tough to catch, and a wild card would be their only shot. For the Redskin faithful, a division title is hardly on their mind. But even at 1-6, the fans are here for the team's 202nd consecutive sellout, hoping the club can turn it around. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. Great to have you with us for our 7th year of the NFL on ESPN. The Redskins look terrific in their opener against Dallas. Since then, they have lost 6 games in a row, their worst losing streak in 30 years, and they lead the NFL in one category: injuries. Only 7 starters have been able to start every game. You can say that Richie Pettibone's first year has been cursed.
Oh, it really has, Mike. And the other thing also is Richie will tell you he knows who's going to start on the offensive and defensive lines, but they're so beat up, he wonders how long they can go. But the biggest problem they're having is in big plays. On offense, they're not getting any. On defense, they're giving up too many. For example, on offense, 7 total plays over 25 yards for the year. On defense, they've given up 25 total plays over 25 yards. If they want to win, they're going to have to reverse that trend.
But, you know, even at 1-6, it's amazing. They don't think the season is over. Richie Pettibone was even talking about the playoffs this week. He said 8-8 might make it. 9-7 certainly will. And more importantly, the veterans, the old warriors on this team, believe it too, because they aren't used to doing anything but winning.
Well, they have, but, you know, it's time for those young guys to step up and make the transition. It's time for Desmond Howard to become the big play receiver that everybody thought he could be. It's time for Reggie Brooks to continue this trend of a dominant running back that's second in the NFL as far as rushing goes in this league. And Tommy Carter, it's time for him to step up and be the complement to Darrell Green. Now, the thing about Darrell Green that makes it so interesting, Mike, is he put everything into perspective. He said, last week against the Buffalo Bills, we lit the pilot light. This is the week we got to turn on the gas.
Ted Marchibroda, for the 2nd time in his career, has turned around a Colts franchise, made an awful team instantly respectable. He turned 1-15 into 9-7. Then in the offseason, the Colts were very aggressive in the free agent market, trying to upgrade their talent so they could get to the next level. But then Jeff George had the protracted holdout, and that put those plans on hold, at least for a while. Tonight, a critical game for this franchise and Jeff George.
You keep mentioning the key word, franchise. You keep mentioning the other word, Jeff George. He is the franchise of this football team, absolutely. Without him, the Colts can't go very far. When I talked to Jeff yesterday, he said to me, listen, I am the leader of this football team. I am the leader of the offense. When I talk to the players on the team, they know that they're not going to go very far without Jeff George. Yeah, he had the holdout. Yeah, it seemed like everybody was bothered by it, but it doesn't mean anything now. All they want to do is win.
Indianapolis has won the toss, and the Colts have elected to receive. Chip Lohmiller will kick it away for the Redskins. Rodney Culver and Clarence Verdun deep to receive. Verdun at the 2. Straight up the middle across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Jeff George will be making his third start of the season tonight. Last week was only the second time in 10 starts that he's not had an interception. Roosevelt Potts, a Rookie of the Year candidate, the 247-pounder, number 6 in the AFC and rushing number 1 for rookies. The offensive line needed help and got it with Will Walford, the free agent from Buffalo. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Got to about the 29-yard line, and Carl Banks was in on the tackle. Tim Johnson leads the down lineman for Washington in tackles. This is his second game back from an injury. Played well last week against Buffalo. Carl Banks has filled the void left by Wilbur Marshall, but he hasn't played with the same consistency that made him an All-Pro in New York. Gerald Green, a 5-time Pro Bowler. The coaches say 1993 may be the finest of his brilliant 11-season career. 2nd and 7 for the Colts. George changing the play. Redskins with 6 men on the line of scrimmage come with 4. Langhorne can't make the catch, and Tom Carter is right there. When you think about Jeff George missing all of training camp, all of preseason, this is like training camp for him. It's only his 3rd game.
Well, it's right at the end of training camp. You bring up a really great point there, Mike. Here's a guy who's been nursed along, played a little bit, worked his way into practice. Now, all of a sudden, the load is on his shoulders. The full complement of the offense is his. It's time for him to make things happen.
3rd and 7. Ted Marchibroda in his 2nd tour with his franchise. From the shotgun. Pass rush. George is level. Sterling Palmer, the rookie, drilled him from behind, and that's what the Redskins have lacked all year. Pressure on the quarterback.
That's what they've been looking for. Sterling Palmer, they figure, is the man that can put pressure. Top right part of your screen, number 97. Comes around the corner, moves Wolford, takes the hard inside, and then just explodes into George.
Ron Stark, outstanding punter for years, averaging 44.5 yards a kick. Brian Mitchell waits back at his own 23 for the Redskins. 4 of the best kickers in football in this game tonight. Mitchell lets it go, and it takes a great bounce for the Colts to the 5-yard line. A critical error by Brian Mitchell and a punt of 65 yards. Mark Rippon got off to a great start before a knee injury. Since coming back, he's had 1 touchdown pass and 6 interceptions. Reggie Brooks has become the featured running back. The rookie is coming off a 117-yard game against Buffalo. Riley McKenzie starts at right guard. One of 4 spots he's played because of injuries on the line. This unit is paper thin. For the 2nd week in a row, Desmond Howard will see a lot of action. They hope the former Heisman winner can produce a big play or 2.
The Redskins starting out a little shaky. They broke the huddle without one of their receivers.
Brooks, the deep man in the eye, gets out to about the 10. Check out the Colts defense. With Steve Entman out, Tony Siragusa has become the big play man. He collapses the pocket, leads the down lineman in tackles. A first-round draft choice a year ago, Quentin Coryatt solidifies the middle of an excellent linebacking core. He's a good tackler. Strong safety John Baylor has 3 of the club's 5 interceptions. 2 of them have won or saved games. Redskins face a 2nd and 5. Art Monk checks into the ball game as the 3rd wide receiver, along with Sanders and McGee. Brooks again, and John Hand waiting for him at the point of attack. He got past Mo Elowanibi.
John Hand last year, Mike, was forced to play inside. He didn't really feel comfortable with it. With the injury to Entman now, all of a sudden, this year, they moved him back outside. He's back where he feels very comfortable. He figures that's where he's going to play in this league. That's where he can be most effective. We saw it on that play.
Said he's 6'7". If I'm inside, everything gets all tangled up. 3rd and 7 for the Redskins. Ernest Biner, number 21, checks in. Rippon has it batted up in the air. So for the Redskins offense, 3 and out. And how many times this year has Mark Rippon had a pass batted down at the line of scrimmage?
Well, it's a short drop, and the right tackle has got to get the hands down. Watch the right part of your screen. The right tackle, he's got to somehow cut that defensive end. You can't be standing up there. Of course, the other thing is now Ray Brown, who's playing that right tackle position, is a guard. So he's not used to having to stand up a guy and then get down on him and cut him. Again, part of the injuries caused the problem.
One of the bright spots for the Redskins has been Reggie Roby. He'll punt to Clarence Verdun. He's waiting at his own 45. Roby has been sensational. This one is very high but short. And Verdun comes up to make the fair catch, the 49-yard line. A punt of only 40 yards for Roby, but no return. We're scoreless first quarter at RFK.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. And by the Lee Apparel Company with regular, relaxed, and loose-fit jeans and casual pants. Lee is the brand that fits.
0-0 early first quarter, the Colts and the Redskins. And Indianapolis takes over at the Redskins 48-yard line. Jeff George to Potts in the flat. Brought down by Andre Collins, the leading tackler 2 years in a row. Indianapolis has thrown the ball 3 out of 4 times. A little strange maybe since the Redskins have had such a terrible problem stopping the run. 6 out of 7 teams have had over 100 yards.
Well, they can't stop the run with their front four, Mike, and that's the problem. If you can't do that, you have to start committing linebackers, which exposes the deep backs to big passes. That's been their problem.
Potts on the toss. Banks turned him back in. And the tackle made by Al Noga, the free agent that they got from Minnesota.
Wasn't it fun visiting with Roosevelt Potts? Yes. I mean,
charming young man.
He's the kind of guy you sit down with and you say, geez, I hope he has a lot of success because he has a great enthusiasm for the game. He came in and started the season at 260. He's now down to 247, and he did it by his own choice because he wanted to get quicker and better, not because somebody told him to.
Said he feels better, feels quicker, and can play more plays. 3rd and 5. And they'll whistle this play dead. Somebody moved up front. And a little pushing and shoving. Bobby Wilson and Kirk Loudenough, the free agent center, who has really helped to shore up the line with Wolford. And we'll get the call for Tom White.
False start. Number 88 offense. Moving prior to the snap. It's 5 yards. 3rd down.
It's the tight end, Kerry Cash, out of Texas. It was 3rd down and long. Not necessarily a great place for the Redskins defense to have anybody. They are dead last against 3rd down conversions in the NFL. One of the reasons they can't generate a pass rush. George shovels it to Cash. And Cash buried at the line of scrimmage. Good hustle by the Redskins defense, and Monty Coleman, the first guy there, the 15-year veteran who can still play.
That's the 2nd series in a row that the defense has set the tempo for the game. Brian Mitchell misplayed the punt the last time. The Redskins on offense broke the huddle, short a receiver. So the defense is doing their part. The special teams and the offense have to pick it up.
Mitchell deep to receive, waiting at the 10 again for Stark's punt. Mitchell signals fair catch, and he will make this one up the 13-yard line. Punt of only 33 yards, but no return, and poor field position for the Washington Redskins. 0-0, first quarter. Richie Pettibone on the sideline in a scoreless game. 9:56 to go, first quarter of play. Big pass plays have been the problem for Washington on both sides of the ball. Passes from 20 to 30 yards. The Redskins have allowed 10 while completing 9 of their own. 30 to 40 yards. The opponents have completed 4, the Skins only 2. 40 to 50, 3 for the opposition, zip for the Redskins. And over 50, 6 for the opponents. Again, none for the Redskins in an offense that used to be known for its big play capability. And we'll get into that more in a second. Again, 4 field position. The Redskins take over at the 13. Play action. Rippon under pressure. Steps up. Brooks couldn't get there. And a good job by Rippon just to avoid the sack.
That was a good job by Mark. I mean, he showed a lot of poise, got a lot of pressure on him. They tried the play action pass, which you should do when you're running the ball as well as the Redskins have done all year. But this offense has entirely changed. And I think what they've done by going to the short drops and the quick passes, they've really taken away the strength of Mark Rippon. He's always been an excellent deep thrower. Now he's forced to throw the ball a lot shorter, and he's just not as efficient doing it.
Rippon rifles this one complete. Another short gain, and Tim McKee
wait a second.
forced that about.
Hold it. The Redskins just ran a hitch. Now, that says they ran last year. I don't know if that's acceptable or not. That was a surprise. This is something they have not been doing. McKee will just go up 5 yards, little 3-4 steps, quick turn, 5-yard gain. If the corners are going to play off you, you're better off throwing hitches than you are quick posts because you're allowed to keep the ball away. The man on your left is Rod Dowhauer, the new offensive coordinator.
Still only a gain of 4 and 3rd and 6. Rippon over the middle to Sanders. First down at the 34-yard line. And the crowd, for the first time in weeks, has something to cheer about.
Going to give you a chance to take a look at what Mark Rippon's seeing when he drops back to pass. He's reading the safety right in the middle. See the center go to the middle. See the safety go to the middle. Jason Blazer. Now he sees Ricky coming in. You don't have to make a perfect pass. You've got a margin of error. Throw the ball a little bit behind them because they are in a zone.
Frank Wycheck, number 36, is the H-back as they go to that formation. Rippon to throw. Throws incomplete. They said Sanders trapped it at the 47-yard line. In defense of Rippon, Joe, he had the best training camp probably that he's ever had, coming off a horrible year. Started brilliantly against Dallas. Then he had the knee injury, was out, maybe came back too early. Probably wasn't anywhere near 100% and hasn't played well.
If you have problems with your legs, Mike, it affects all your balance and all your throwing. Tonight, he's probably as healthy as he's been, and it looks like he's throwing the ball very well.
And showed some movement a couple of plays ago, avoiding the rush. Brooks, the rookie, has been sensational. Breaks this one. Planted as he got to the 47-yard line. John Baylor, the strong safety, whacked him, but after a gain of 13.
See, what's interesting is the Redskins come out, they go pass, 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 pass. Now you get that Colt defense thinking, all right, let's go after Rippon, let's go after Rippon. Brooks is so quick when he gets the ball, he can make a move and go inside. Quinn Corey at number 55 right in the middle. He sees Brooks start outside. Now he gets caught in the wash. See, he's a non-factor, but yet he's your middle linebacker.
Brooks again behind Wycheck, and John Hand, one of the first men there to get him. Tony Siragusa will get credit for the initial tackle, and he's the guy who can collapse the pocket with Entman out of there.
You know, Hand's at 300 pounds, 6'7". He plays the right end. See how he pushes back? Now, Ellenoweeby's on a bad wheel, so he really doesn't have good balance. He figures Reggie has gone the other way. So what he's going to try and do is just cut John off by Reggie cutting back. He and Hand meet at the wrong place, the line of scrimmage.
There's not an offensive lineman out there that is not playing on a bad wheel. 2nd and 9 for the Redskins. Comes the blitz. They pick it up, and Rippon with time completes the pass to the 45-yard line. No whistle. Looked like the ground caused that fumble, and Sanders able to recover it himself. Tony Stargell, who was in on the nickel package, made the tackle.
Every time Rippon drops back to pass, the coaches are holding their breath. Mo Ellenoweeby, left side. Now he's just getting muscled back. See, he has no leverage. He's straight up and down. You got to plant that foot and try and drive it, but you can see the brace on his left knee. Just gives Mark enough time. Ricky Sanders does an excellent job. That is not a fumble. I don't care what the official said. The ground cannot cause a fumble. It should have just been ball dead, move on.
And it was a gain of 2 yards for the Redskins to target. Griffin with time. Here's the deep ball. Sanders overthrown. Ray Buchanan, the rookie from Louisville, the 3rd-round draft choice, was a step behind.
I will mention one thing about Ricky Sanders. Ricky pulled a hip flexor in the Buffalo game last week. He's had trouble running, and you can see his gait is not smooth. He's not running at full speed. It's his right hip flexor. He has trouble pushing off, and I think that time it affected him a little bit going down the field.
Reggie Roby to punt to Clarence Verdun, and we'll tell you one thing about Clarence Verdun. He would like nothing better than to break one tonight so he can stick it to Redskins special teams coach Wayne Sevier, who he said tore him apart when he was here. Roby just hangs it sky high, and Verdun will make the fair catch to the 16-yard line. A punt of 27, but he did his job getting inside the 20. Jeff George will lead the Colts back on the field when we come back. Scoreless first quarter from RFK. Ted Marchibroda thinks his club is turned it around after a 3-game losing streak. They won last time out. They could make it 2 in a row and get back to 500. George takes over at his own 16-yard line. Comes the blitz. Potts. Can't get outside. Banks on the tackle.
Ted Marchibroda believes in a single formation. He just thinks it's easier for a quarterback to read defenses. And it's the same offensive formation they ran in Buffalo. It's 3 wide receivers. You see them. 1, 2, 3, a tight end, and a single back. That is so everybody is set. When the quarterback steps to the line of scrimmage, he can see and knows where the defensive players are going to be.
And they don't like to use motion to mess that look up. Changing the play. George throws. Darrell Green nearly made the interception. It looked like Langhorne was turning the wrong way. The ball went behind him.
But that's a great job by Tim Johnson, number 78 for the Redskins. Made Jeff George throw it a lot sooner than he wanted to. Last week against Buffalo and in this game, putting a lot of pressure. Number 78, look at him, right up the middle, does a great job. Goes right around the corner. Tough to throw the ball and run your back.
A.J. Johnson and Alvoid Mays come in as the Redskins go to 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 11. George with a lot of time and out of bounds. Intended for the rookie Sean Dawkins out of California, but Brad Edwards was right there and he had company. The Redskins defense has done its job 3 series in a row.
This is a great education. Sean Dawkins up against Darrell Green. He pushes up the field, going to do a big comeback now. He plants, starts to work. You don't see Darrell in the picture. Then all of a sudden Edwards comes over, but it was Darrell Green that forced him to throw the ball high.
Stark will have to punt again, standing near his own goal line, and Brian Mitchell waits at the 40 for the Redskins. Mitchell last couple of years punt returns for touchdowns, but he hasn't done much this year. Short kick, Mitchell from the 46, and may have lost a yard on the return after a punt of 38. Jason Belser, the safety, downfield to make the tackle. Still scoreless, 5:30 first quarter. The Lincoln Memorial, just one of the beautiful sights in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Washington, D.C. Of course, the Redskins faithful think RFK is also one of the most beautiful sights.
I think it's a monument.
Except for the last 6 weeks, it has been for over 20 years.
They keep playing like this. They're going to put a monument on top of it and bury everybody in it.
Well, they are building a new stadium right next door, supposedly ready to open in 95. Desmond Howard, number 80, to the top of your screen is a wide receiver. Brooks. That's about 4 near midfield.
It's interesting, Mike. You look at the scoreboard, it's 0-0. But the Redskins in the first quarter, they got the ball on the 5 the first time, the 14 the second time, now on the 45-yard line. They're winning the game of field position. It's up to the Colt defense now to stop it and try and get their offense better field position. The Redskins are inching forward in this game.
And Richie Pettibone at this point will take any advantage he can get. 2nd and 6. Brooks. Nothing. And hit in the backfield and planted. John Baylor was the guy who made the tackle, but he had a lot of help.
Rick Venturi said something interesting, the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach last night. He said, you know, I'm not going to blitz people. He said, I don't want to blitz Mark Rippon and make Ricky Sanders a star of this football game and let him hit him with deep posts. But I will bring a 5th man to try and upset it, and it will be sometimes a defensive back, which we saw in that play.
3rd and long, the Redskins, as just about every other category, have had little or no success this year. Here comes the blitz, and Rippon has it batted down at the line of scrimmage. Once again, the short set, if anybody is close to him, you take a risk of having it batted down. And that's Tony Siragusa, who got the hands up.
Watch the right part of your screen. Number 98. He comes around. Now all of a sudden he pulls up and then jumps in the air. See, I personally, you can't blame Mark Rippon for that.
Not at all.
As a quarterback, you're supposed to throw in between lanes. The Colts, to their credit, are not giving him lanes.
Roby to punt to Verdane. Returnable. Verdane from the 17. Got back to the 20, and that's it. A return of 3 after a punt of 36. And now we've got a little pushing and shoving on special teams. And a little Clarence Verdane is going to get his money's worth. Lamont Hollenquist, the rookie for the Redskins.
Clarence has always been a guy who can fire you up one way or the other. He can fire the other team up as well as his own team.
Hope you'll be with us every Sunday. Try noon Eastern this Sunday for NFL Game Day. Chris Mortensen, and Joe Theismann provide the most comprehensive pregame show on television. Then at 7 o'clock prime time, you'll see all the highlights of all the day's games. Then at 8, we'll be at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. The Bears taking on the rejuvenated San Diego Chargers. It looks like they have their act together. George throwing off his back foot, completes it out to around the 26-yard line. Kurt Govea with the tackle on Reggie Langhorne.
There's Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach with the offensive line of the Redskins, explaining to him, listen, if they're going to do that, if that end is going to sit inside and both of you are going to double team them, then you've got to hold them at the line, not allow them to have penetration. See if they fire into them, build the wall, and then go get the linebacker behind them.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. Potts, the single setback. And Potts will get the carry. Across the 30 to about the 31. It's a first down, but there's a flag down on the play. Sterling Palmer, the rookie, made the tackle. And it's a hold against the Colts. Well, you didn't know coming into this game, would this be a high-scoring game, a low-scoring game? Neither team's been able to score much, but neither team has been able to stop the other guy.
Well, when you look at the scoring, the Colts and Redskins both have scored offensively 10 points in the first quarter. They've given up, I believe, 54 and 62.
Holding, number 63 offense, 10 yards. Still 2nd down.
Take a look at this. I mean, this is incredible when you look at points that they've scored. See that? New England has scored 10, and Washington in 6. And Washington, Indianapolis, just 10 in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's not an average. That's total. 7 games. And they might not be able to add to that total with 3:05 to go here in this first quarter. Potts. What a shot by Al Noga.
I want to show you something. If you can see every Redskin getting to the football, every guy out on that field is hustling to where the football is. That's something Darryl Green mentioned to us on Friday when we visited with the Redskins. He said, I want to try and get to the ball no matter where it is. That's something he wants to teach Tommy Carter. And now you can see the Redskins as a unit are doing that.
And Darryl Green is having another brilliant season. Redskins go to the nickel on 3rd and 14. George to the shotgun. 4-man rush. Langhorn, what a catch! A.J. Johnson was all over him along with Alvoid Mays, and Jeff George is hurt. What a catch by Langhorn.
Tim Johnson leveled Jeff George again, but you're absolutely right, Mike. You know something? Ted Marchibroda mentioned to us last night about George's ability to throw on a rope behind a receiver. He hangs in, gets hit low. Look, this is behind him. I mean, that ball is thrown absolutely purposefully behind the receiver and the DB. Look at this play.
Tremendous play by Langhorn. Potts barreling straight ahead. Gang tackled as he reached the Redskins' 45-yard line. Potts, 9 on that play, 4 carries for 13 yards. Best game this year was against Dallas when he had 113.
This is turn around, give it to the big horse. Good job up front by that offensive line, which has a couple of Pro Bowlers added to it. Now it's all him. He takes Edwards on. He takes Carter on. Keeps the legs driving. Banks tries to get in. Bowles comes in. Still can't bring him down.
Clarence Verdun is in as a wide receiver. He is their deep speed threat, but the give goes to Potts again. Only a couple, but it looks like he has a first down. Al Noga again in on the stop. Noga was a guy who has been basically invisible this year after coming over as a free agent from the Vikings. Tremendously quick, but has had a lot of trouble against the run and has been absolutely ineffective on the pass rush. For some reason, not the same player he was with the Vikings. Dawkins back into the game on 1st and 10 for the Colts. Potts. Little smash mouth football gets him down to the 35-yard line, and that's going to be the last play of a scoreless first quarter. Jeff George will come over and talk to Ted Marchibroda. We're at RFK in Washington. 0-0. Scoreless first quarter in Washington, D.C. at RFK. The Colts and the Redskins, 0-0 as we get ready to start the second period. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. And, of course, Joe Theismann spent some wonderful Sunday afternoons here enshrined in the Ring of Honor around RFK. My privilege to be here that day when, Joe, you were inducted. Had to be a very, very proud day for you, and you played a lot of years for that man, Jack Kent Cooke.
Yeah, he's a tough, fair owner. That was great to play for him and this organization.
2nd and 2 for the Colts. Slips the tackle and carries Sterling Palmer to the 31-yard line.
Now the situation presents itself again to the Redskins defense. The Colts have established a running game. How do you try and stop it? Okay, you did it okay the first 3 series with the front 4. Now, all of a sudden, I think that Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator, and Richie Pettibone are going to have to start to commit linebackers. Now the secondary guys are going to have to cover one-on-one. They've got to go after them.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Colts. George changing the play. Potts. Really ripped at the line of scrimmage. Once again, Sterling Palmer and Carl Banks were right there.
Mike, that offensive line of the Colts has really been rebuilt. Will Wolford's at left tackle. Randy Dixon, 69, at left guard. Kirk Loudermilk at the center. William Schultz at the right guard. And Zephyrus Moss at the right tackle. And they've added Loudermilk and Wolford have really upgraded this line tremendously.
It was a disaster before they came over. Here comes the blitz. George with time and completes it to Hester. First down inside the Redskin 20. A gain of 11 to Jesse Hester. Tom Carter on the coverage.
Will Wolford, number 67, giving Jeff George on the backside plenty of time. He sets up, puts the hands up to Tim Johnson, and then takes on Sterling Palmer. Palmer loses his footing, so Wolford does the best thing. He pushes him down. George going the other way to a wide-open Heston.
And he likes that out pattern. With an arm like that, he likes them all.
Wish I had an arm like that.
Guys, no, there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that want an arm like that. George with a screen to Potts. Lost his balance, got up, lost the ball. Picked up by Darrell Green. Goodbye. Roosevelt Potts, who had done so well on the drive, coughed it up, and Darrell Green went 79 yards. If he has a step on you, there's no one on the planet who's going to catch him from behind.
There's no one on that football field that is as fast as Darrell Green, and I don't believe there's anybody in football that's as fast as Darrell Green.
The first points for the Redskins defense this season.
Ted Marchibroda just can't believe it. They have controlled this game the first quarter, played for field position, got the break by their defense, and then turned it over.
And that young man is crestfallen over the mistake. Lohmiller for the point after. He's got it, and the Redskins on top 7-0. Potts had fumble problems early in the season. Darrell Green having a brilliant campaign. He's on his way back to the Pro Bowl.
Interesting, Mike. This is not a fumble problem caused by getting hit. This is one of slipping. Now, he's going to take the screen out on the right side. They're set up in front. Now, what? He just slips. See, he slips. He goes down on his knees, but no one's touched him. A Redskin did not hit him. He's on his knees. Now he gets up, and his knee, you see right there? See that knee? The knee is off the ground. That means that he's up live. The ball comes out. And watch this little bullet go right by you. That's Darrell Green. Faster than a speeding bullet. Nobody's going to catch him now.
And Kurt Gouveia was the man who knocked it away.
See, that was just a question of Roosevelt Potts trying to regain his balance and his footing. And Darrell just sees the ball on the ground. I mean, Darrell Green, big play guy. That's what the Redskins need. They need big plays from their big play people.
And that is a new team record for the Redskins. That's the best since 1956. Darrell Green goes 79 yards. And that was after a 6-minute drive for the Indianapolis Colts.
Darrell had said they got the pilot light going in Buffalo. It's time to turn up the gas, and he supplied it.
Lohmiller, onside kick. And it's out of bounds. So the Redskins, trying to add insult to injury, take advantage of the momentum, and couldn't get there.
Great call.
And
Great
look
call.
at the look on Richie Pettibone's face.
So close. Richie's a gambler. Richie will not back off on anything. Watch how close this comes to being a successful kick. Left part of your screen. See, it's only got to go past the 35. Now you stop it right there. If he catches that thing, this is the 35, it's going to be first down Redskins. Just a little bit too quick. Couldn't quite get to it.
The officials conferring. You know, it's always refreshing to talk to Richie Pettibone, and Ted Marchibroda really upset.
Well, now what they're discussing is, do they have the ball out of bounds where it went out of bounds, or does it go back like it does on a regular kick out of bounds to the 35-yard line?
Well, on an onside kick, you have a chance to do it over if it goes out of bounds first time.
That's right. That's one of those rule changes.
And Ted is really upset. He says, hey, this really goes against, you know, the spirit of the game. They just gambled and lost, and they get to try it again.
This is one that I think Jerry Seaman, the head of the officials, can take to the competition committee and say, it is an unfair advantage to the kicking team to allow them to kick again if they kick an onside kick out of bounds. This is one that should be changed.
Well, Ted will vote for it right now.
I think the other question is did a Redskin get a hand on it?
That I could not tell from the replay.
I think it's hard to tell also.
Lohmiller will get to tee it up with a 5-yard penalty, and it's a huge break. Otherwise, the Colts get the ball at the Redskins' 47-yard line. Verdan at the 10. Straight up the middle, a flag is down, and Verdan got to the 36-yard line. We'll check the penalty, and more pushing and shoving. Lohmiller was in on the stop. And it will be a hold against the Redskins. ESPN kicks off your Saturday at 11:30 a.m. with College Game Day. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James live from South Bend for the most complete preview of #1 Florida State and #2 Notre Dame. Then at 12:30, Big Ten action, the Wolverines of Michigan battle the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. At 7 o'clock, all the scores and highlights on the Residents in College Football Scoreboard Show. Then at 7:30, #20 Louisville against #10 Texas A&M. Join us on Thursday night. From the 25, Potts hit in the backfield, slips the tackle of Andre Collins, and then stacked up by a host of white and red shirts.
Little things make a difference in a player's confidence, Mike. Roosevelt Potts just made a big mistake with a lot of effort. So what Ted Marchibroda does is to give the young man confidence. He gives him the football right away and lets him know it's okay, things like that happen. Go keep on playing football.
Potts said in college he would carry the ball well away from his body. He says, but these guys come up from behind and just take it away. I had to learn to do it differently. Jason Buck checks in on the defensive line for the Redskins, 2nd and 12. George throws complete, but for very little gain, and Darrell Green with the big tackle on Langhorne.
Number 78, Tim Johnson, has turned himself into a one-man collapse the pocket. Watch this. He's going right up the middle, and he spends the afternoon, or so far the evening. Look at him put the push-up field. Loudermilk's just having a heck of a time holding him back. That's the 3rd time he has gotten to George, but George just barely gets the ball off.
George has hit 7 out of 11 tonight, 5 straight. 3rd and 6. Alnoga, George throws sideline, picked off by Collins. And this is something the Redskins defense hasn't been able to do all year. Come up with the turnover. 11-12 to go first half. Washington by a touchdown.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by over 6,500 Radio Shack stores nationwide and by Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
Jeff George after the interception. The Redskins take over at their own 32, and Mark Rippon on the sideline. Kerry Conklin comes in to take over at quarterback. We'll get word on Rippon if he's injured or not for you in a moment. Conklin under pressure and sacked. Willis Pegues, the 4-year man from Miami, gets credit for the sack.
The interception that Jeff George throws. Watch Tim Johnson. See him move? Jeff George goes back. I think he thinks there's a penalty flag. He relaxes, and all of a sudden he feels the pressure, looks back, picks out the receiver, does not see Collins at all. All he sees is the receiver coming across, trying to get in the open field.
2nd and 16 for the Redskins. Here comes the blitz. Brooks against it. And Brooks knocked out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Last week, Mark Rippon threw 4 interceptions in the ball game, and Kerry Conklin never even warmed up. The Redskins by their own admission, have very little faith in Kerry Conklin right now.
He has not played well, but the thing is if you want to try and light a fire on a unit, on an offensive unit, there's only one place you can make a change, and that's at the quarterback position. If it's been done other than for injury, that's the only reason why I could see it made.
And we are told it is a coaching decision, no injury, and Conklin is buried again. John Hand crashed through along with Coriat. They get the second sack on Conklin in 3 plays, and the Redskins are out of field goal range.
Great job by that Colt defense. After the turnover, you stop them. They were in field goal range, and that was the big thing that Conklin had to be conscious of. And all of a sudden now with the sack, the Colt defense has done their job.
Well, you can't take a sack there, can you? Roby up near the rim of the stadium. Redskins will have a chance to down it and hit for Dan. Redskins recover. Rick Hamilton gets the ball, and Clarence Verdun committed the cardinal sin.
What happened on that one, Clarence Verdun saw the Redskins running around to try and field the ball, so what he was going to go over and do was try and make a play on it, I think, and allow it, at least the ball to be around the 8-yard line instead of back by the 2. Watch it. See, he looks to the right. Then he sees people coming. Now he's going back to see where the ball's going to go. Hits him in the back of the head.
Doink.
Watch this. Look. He looks. He sees all the Redskins back there. Now he's moving back. Hits him on the left shoulder.
Unbelievable. Mark Rippon back in the ball game. A strange turn of events at quarterback for the Redskins. Brooks. Outside. Powers his way to the goal line. John Baylor saves a touchdown. Brooks with some speed, and at 2:02 he runs very hard.
He is, you know, you talk about guys being good backs. He is a great young back. Watch him run. He's going to run right at you. First of all, he starts up. Now he shows the speed to get outside. He's got the ball in the proper hand, lowers his shoulder, keeps his feet going. Actually, that should have been a touchdown because the ball does break the goal line clean, but they don't give it to him.
The Redskins haven't been down here very often, but when they get down here, they score. Rippon, quarterback keeper, second effort, touchdown. The special teams mistake by Verdun sets it up.
I think by Richie Pettibone sitting down Mark Rippon, that's called an attention getter. Mark Rippon just using a little bit of power. Jeff Bostic, 53, the center, does a nice job on Segusa, pushes him back, touchdown.
Boy, and did you see Mark Schlereth, 69, almost a delayed effort, just pushed his man into the end zone. The 6th career rushing touchdown for Mark Rippon, and Lohmiller is on for the point after. So the Redskins offense has still not produced much. The defense gets a fumble return for a touchdown. Special teams set up this one. The Jefferson Memorial, another one of the most famous tourist attractions here in Washington, off the reflecting pond. And talk about attractions. There they are, the Hogettes.
That's some of our elected officials. Is that scary or what?
No wonder
Actually,
they're in
I
disguise.
Below Miller, which is worse.
Verdun, 3 yards deep, and they'll keep it there. Culver comes back and says, don't take it out. And, you know, Verdun is just burning to break one now.
You know, Jeff George right now has got to think of, you always think about what have I done to contribute where we are, good or bad. He hasn't done anything bad. He's just got to get in the huddle and say, listen, guys, we're playing well. We can make up 14 points. All we have to do is be methodical and do our job. So let's just go get it done. Ready? Great. Look at that. Right out of the huddle.
First and 10 at the 20, 8:56 to go first half. Play. Mike Patrick and Joe Tyson with you. from RFK. George to Potts. Collins out there to make the tackle along with Darrell Green. Green has been everywhere tonight. May have caught the elbow. And the last thing the Redskins can afford is another injury to anybody, let alone Darrell Green. Last couple of years, Darrell Green has suffered severe injuries, broken wrist, broken forearm.
A little bit of a weight mismatch. Potts makes the catch. Collins comes up, turns him inside, tries to. Now Darrell comes in, tries to hit him, and actually gets hit by his own man on the left arm.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Potts on the draw. Got by Banks and took it out to about the 28-yard line. A.J. Johnson is on the field.
That's a great job by the Colt line there. Redskins blitzed in that situation, brought the backers. They managed to find a crease. He turns a negative play into a 9-yard gain.
The cheer is for Darrell Green, who trots back out on the field. The little guy, only about 175 pounds, but very tough. 3rd and 2, Indianapolis. George changes the play. And now has to call a timeout with a play clock down to 2. We've got a timeout, 7:38 to go first half. 14-0 Washington. Redskins leading the Colts 14-0, 7:38 to go second quarter. And if you look at the stats, no indication that the Redskins should be ahead in this game. Only 45 yards, less than half of what the Colts have so far. But turnovers have made the difference, as they usually do. 3rd and 2 for the Colts. George with time. Langhorn. A.J. Johnson. Can't catch it. Touchdown. A.J. Johnson, the Redskins have said for years, if he could only stay healthy, he is a brilliant talent at corner. This year he was healthy. He started the year at the corner opposite Darrell Green, and he has been burned to a crisp. Langhorn now 4 catches, 114 yards. Nice first half.
The Colt offense, as that graphic showed, has not really been slowed down a whole lot. They've been very methodical, and the blitz hurt the Redskins again.
Piasucci on for the point after. He's having an outstanding year, his best since 1987. Knocks it through, and the lead is cut in half. So the big play burns the Redskins once again, and the Colts get a big play to get on the scoreboard.
There's Langhorn. Now what George is going to do is he's going to see Edwards. He's just going right down the middle. Good job by the offensive line protecting him. Edwards is in the middle. He makes a little move outside. He's not coming into you, Brad. He's going up the field. Went right by A.J. Can't quite catch him. There's Brad Edwards. What happens is he's going to work here in the middle. George is going to see him, fire it down the seam. Looks to the right just for a second. Thinks he's throwing the in. It's not an in. It's a post. And he's gone. Colts showing a whole lot of composure right there, Mike. Like I said, Jeff George coming out does a great job in keeping his offense together. Brad Edwards just really having a tough year. I mean, he's struggling. He's like a batter in a slump. He just keeps swinging harder, and he keeps missing the ball and missing the ball. I mean,
at the beginning of the telecast, we talked about the big plays. 10 touchdowns of more than 20 yards against the Redskins defense, the most in the National Football League.
You got to give credit to that Colt offensive line, Mike. That's the big key. If you're going to bring a lot of people and they can block, the guys have got to cover one-on-one back there. And as you can see, the Redskins have not been successful having it happen.
George talking to Langhorne.
Yeah, he says, listen, run down the field. I'll throw it up. You go get it.
Desmond Howard, number 80, and Brian Mitchell, number 30, are deep to receive. Howard averaging only 18 yards a kickoff return this year. And that certainly quieted the crowd. Biasucci. Mitchell at the goal line. To the 22-yard line. Redskins will start from there with 7:19 to go. Rodney Culver downfield to make the tackle on special teams. Be with us tomorrow night at 7:30. NFL Prime Monday. Mike Tirico, Joe Theismann, and Craig James preview the Monday night game between the Packers and the Chiefs. Live reports from Arrowhead Stadium with Andrea Kramer. Chris Mortensen will have the league's breaking news. And downtown, Julie Brown profiles Reggie White. All that and much more on NFL Prime Monday tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, right here on ESPN. The Colts offensive line that provided the protection for George to throw that last one. So the Redskins take over now with Desmond Howard in at wide receiver, 1 of 3, along with Monk and Sanders. Monk can't shake a tackle, brought down near the line of scrimmage, and Ashley Ambrose, the second-year man out of Mississippi Valley State, and that little yard gain just adds to the totals that Art Monk has racked up throughout his brilliant career. 869 catches, 156 straight games. And he's got a shot at Steve Largent. He'd have to play one more year.
He also becomes the Redskin that played in the second most games with 197.
Officially, no gain on the play, so it's still second down. Rippon with time, floats it down the sideline, and Desmond Howard pulled up short.
No. That is,
you don't think so?
No, Mark Rippon tried it. Desmond Howard was so open. You're going to see Mark Rippon here try and absolutely deliver that thing too perfect. Instead of just throwing it naturally, he tries to deliver it perfect. Desmond does a great job of getting away. Remember, it's that first 10 yards. Terrific job on the hint selling the route. He's wide open, and Mark knows he's wide open. Look at, see Rip just pull the trigger back. Look at this. He just throws that. I mean, he's throwing it where Desmond's not going. That's a bad pass, and he knows it. See, he wants him to go straight, and he goes the other way.
3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz for the Colts, and Rippon sacked back at the 15. John Hand, who has had a huge first half, and now more pushing and shoving.
We talked about Mo Elinawebi and that bad leg, number 64, left tackle. John Hand this time doesn't go outside, gives a Rip move inside, and winds up with a handful of Rip's head. It's a double Rip.
So Roby will have to come in and punt on 4th and 17. Verdan waits at his 40. Be able to air this one out. Instead of low line drive, Verdan can't get over there to take advantage of it, and it rolls near the 30. So Roby gets away from one. It goes 55 yards. There's a penalty flag down. The Redskins are going to have to punt the football again because Johnny Thomas ran out of bounds, came back in, was the first man to touch the ball. An illegal touch, so the 55-yard punt is wiped out. And Roby will have to do it again. Another low line drive. And Verdan can't get to this one. And it goes out of bounds. Punt of 52.
I'm going to give you a statistic for Washington's offense. 13 pass plays, 8 yards. Average pass play, 0.6.
And yet they lead 14.
They lead 14-7. Now you don't only have the offensive line overlooking at plays, you got the quarterback too. There's your passing yards. 126 for Indianapolis, a measly 8 for the Redskins.
Unbelievable. The Colts trail by a touchdown with 5:50 to go in the half. They have at their own 37. Hot. Not much room to run. Banks was in on the tackle. Collins also had him around the ankle. Carl Banks, of course, came in here to fill in for Wilbur Marshall. With an acrimonious party with the Redskins. Banks, a longtime star with the Giants. He's not played as consistently as he did in New York. He's had a couple of good games, and by his own admission, a couple of very poor games. In the decade of the 80s, nobody was better over the tight end than Carl Banks. George with time over the middle, short and complete to Langhorne. Broke a tackle. And then is dumped at the 40, gained maybe a half yard.
You know what's amazing about Jeff George is almost every pass he throws leaning backwards. Now, you've got to have an incredible arm to be able to do that. With the touchdown pass to Langhorne he threw off his back foot. Here's a 3-yarder off his back foot.
Is that a carryover from what has to be shell shock from his first couple of years, sacked almost constantly?
I think so. Watch this. Watch him drop back. Right part of your screen. Watch Jeff George. He plants. Now, you're supposed to step into it, but he doesn't. He throws going backwards.
3rd and 3. Throws on the run, incomplete. Monty Coleman all over Jesse Hester. Coleman in the league 15 years. He can still run and still cover.
Good job by the Redskin defense. Jeff George showing he's mobile, moves around a little bit, got out of the pocket, tried to make a play.
Stark will punt to Brian Mitchell, who waits at his 10. Been a game of field position and mistakes. Nice soaring punt by Biasucci. Mitchell lets it go. Out of bounds inside the 1. What a bounce. Holy cow. 55 yards and out at the 1-foot line. You can't ask for much more than that.
That ball, just like it put its left blinker on and decided to make a hard turn. Look at it. It was heading for the goal line and then just made a little bit of a... Look at Monty can't believe it. Monty Coleman cannot believe it. Look at this. Here you go. Put the blinker on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bounce. No. Am I heading for the end zone? No. I'm still heading for the end zone. No. Unbelievable.
And from the goalpost cam, the Redskins start from their 1-foot line.
Let it fly. This is what I'm looking for. Let it fly.
Brooks. John Hand nailed him at the line of scrimmage. Former #1 draft choice out of Alabama.
That right side of the defensive line, Hand and Saragusa are really doing a great job. There's your right side right there. These two characters, boy, they are doing a great job of clogging it up. They come on in, brings back over. Great play.
That time they had moved. Excuse me, that was Sam Clancy, the former Pitt basketball player. Now Rippon drops into the end zone, throws complete to Sanders out across the 10. Should be enough for the first down. Ashley Ambrose made the tackle.
Mike, that's got to be an ego boost for Mark Rippon because he dropped back in a pocket and actually threw a pass up the field inside the tackles, and they didn't bat it down.
And that is John Hand having trouble getting up after the play. We mentioned earlier, moved inside last year, hated it, had career low numbers this year. They moved him back to defensive end, and he's extremely happy.
Michael, we talk about passing lanes, and this is what Mark Rippon's trying to throw the ball through. Now here's the lane right there. It's not very big, but he just needs it. That's why this guy's hand is out. He's got that little lane to throw through and manages to get the ball out. That's what the object of offensive pass protection is supposed to do for a quarterback. Provide a passing lane.
Rippon, 5 out of 11, 39 yards. All the throws have gone to wide receivers. And Hand able to lead the field under his own power. Movement up front.
False start, number 64 offense. Moving prior to the snap, 5 yards, still first down.
You know, Mike, I watched practice on Friday. The Redskins practice on Friday. They practice like a 1-6 football team on Friday. People jumping off sides, drop passes, missed passes, a lot of little things. And that's just a lack of continuity and not only playing together, but practicing together.
Brooks tries to cut it outside, and he'll lose yardage on this one.
You never played the game, right? But as you watch it, and we've done enough games, you get a feel for momentum on offense and defense. A guy gets in a rhythm, and offense gets in a rhythm. You saw Jeff George in that one drive and Potts run the ball, get in a rhythm. The Redskins offensively have yet to get in a rhythm. There's no rhythm to this offense whatsoever.
And my high school coach said I would never play. And he was right. 2nd and 14. Rippon with time to Art Monk out to the 15-yard line. Sandwich there, the tackle made by Tony Stargell, and we're down to 2 minutes. Timeout on the field, 14-7. The Redskins over the Colts. Will be back in a moment. 2 minutes to go. First half of play from Washington, D.C. The Redskins on top of the Colts, 14-7. Coming up at halftime, the fastest 3 minutes in television. Chris Berman along with that. You'll enjoy this after further review with Chris and Tom Jackson. And then we'll come back to RFK, and Joe will have his first half analysis of this one.
Hope you enjoy that.
I will.
Good.
Which consists of big plays. One on special teams, one on offense, one on defense. 3rd and 8 for Mark Rippon. Ernest Biner in the backfield. Blitz. Screen to Biner and overthrown. There was not an Indianapolis Colt within 15 yards of the screen downfield. Nobody.
If Mark Rippon can make this play, Ernest Biner is still running. Watch this. Here comes the blitz. Now Rip sees it coming. Off to his right. He's got to do something to get him the football. Look at this. Here's him. That's the only guy, and you got everybody in the world ahead of him. Look at that. I mean, Ernest Biner, he's still running.
And now Roby will have to kick from his goal line. Well, that was 40 yards if it was anything. Roby off the side of his foot. And out of bounds near the 45-yard line. So the Colts, after a 31-yard punt, will have great field position with 1:47 to go.
You know, it's interesting. That's what a great return man can do to your kicking game. Instead of Reggie Roby doing what he does best, kicking the ball 4 miles in the air, 70 yards downfield, they're trying to get cute and kick the ball away from Clarence Verdun. Have you seen those low-line kicks the last 2 times?
You think that's planned?
I think that's part of it. Sure, I think you kick the ball low and away. Wayne Severe respects Clarence Verdun. Now he's caused them to change up a little bit.
I think if you've got Roby, you just go ahead and kick it 65 yards. 1:47 to go for the Colts. George, can he take advantage? Throws on the run, Langhorn, who has had a big first half, makes the catch against Darrell Green at the 41. Gain of 5.
Colts have 2 timeouts remaining, 1:33. This is the 2-minute drill that they give you in practice, 1:30, 2 timeouts.
Four wide receivers and a slot man. George completes to Langhorn again. First down for Redskins 33. Clock running with 1:14 to go in the half.
The Redskins have got to try and go after George. They're not going to get there rushing 4, dropping 7.
George with time had that one tipped. Collins got a hand on it, intended again for Langhorn.
you saw the first time Jeff George really step into a pass.
Yes.
I mean, he can flat throw it like a rope. And that's the difference in a Jeff George and, say, a John Elway. John Elway always steps into his passes and lets it fly. Jeff George has been throwing a lot off his back foot. Watch the difference in the delivery. We showed you the one off the back foot. Here's one with him stepping into it. Plants that right foot and then just leans into it.
Four-man rush, plenty of time. George throws, complete inside the 10. Caught by Aaron Cox, the former Ram, a gain of 24. And the Colts will stop the clock with a 1st and goal. It was interesting listening to you and Ted Marchibroda talk the other night, talking about Jeff George and some of the throws that he has made. And Ted started laughing and said, for me, he was a fine quarterback for a long time in this league. He said, it would have been a lucky throw for me to make that. You laughed, he laughed. We all knew what you meant. George has an all-pro arm.
You hit it right on the head, Mike. Ted Marchibroda put it as well as anybody. He makes throws that other people can't. Quite frankly, he makes throws that other people on the Colts can't. There's just a rocket right into the hole, right into the dead area, make the catch. Now, I guess if you could look at this as an advantage for the Redskins, they can't complete a pass over 20 yards right now because they're only on 9. So if the guy catches it at the back of the end zone, it would be a 19-yard completion. So for the Redskins, maybe that'll be the key.
Plenty of time left for the Colts. 48 seconds to go in the half. George with time. Now he has to scramble and throws it away. And the flag goes down. Now is it intentional grounding or a late hit?
No, it is intentional grounding, and the rule is very simple. If you get outside the pocket, you have got to get the ball somewhere up the field, near the line of scrimmage or past it, and it will not be intentional grounding. It will be an incompleted pass. This ball does not get near the line of scrimmage. There's the pocket right here. That's the pocket. Jeff George is out. He's got to get it past that line of scrimmage. If he doesn't, it's intentional grounding. Now he's sliding. He's sliding. He's not out, no.
Well, and also he didn't get it anywhere near the line of scrimmage, which was the 8.
Absolutely right.
So it's an automatic call for the official. George after the penalty to Johnson out of the backfield inside the 15-yard line. 34 seconds on the clock, and it's running. This will bring up 3rd and goal.
The only thing on Jeff George's mind right now, 2 things. Don't take a sack and throw the ball away if nobody's wide open.
A timeout left for the Colts. George looks over the middle, complete again to Johnson. Inside the 5 to about the 4. And they will spend their final timeout. Andre Collins made the tackle. Johnson's been a tremendous receiver for them coming out of the backfield. He has more catches than any other running back in the NFL so far.
Ted Marchibroda, interesting now. You would expect the field goal unit to be jogging out onto the field. It's 4th down and 5. But yet he's talking it over with his quarterback. Now they send the special teams out. I think for a moment, Teddy thought maybe we'll go for it, but no, we're moving the ball too well.
Well, the timeout gave him that extra few seconds to think about it. And Biasucci, having his best year in a long time, last season his field goal percentage all the way down to 55%. This year he's hit 14 out of 17, and back where he was when he was a Pro Bowl kicker.
You know, it was interesting talking to Richie Pettibone. He said he was a big Jeff George fan. He said he really liked him. I don't think he likes him a whole lot right now.
He admires him.
He admires him.
Ted Marchibroda likes him and admires him. Biasucci from 23 yards out to cut into the lead. And he hits it out of the hole of Ron Stark. So the Colts, after the short punt, don't get the touchdown, but do get on the scoreboard and cut the lead to 14-10.
You know, it's going to be interesting going into halftime. If you go into these locker rooms, if you're in the Colt locker room, you got to be saying, all right, guys, we've hung in there. We've made up the difference. We spotted them 14, and we came back. If you're the Redskins, you got to be going, hey, listen, we are leading. Remember that. We're leading. All the offense has to do is get out there and make some plays, and we can win this game. So it should be two positive locker rooms. Both teams coming out, one with the lead, the other playing well.
And the Redskins have gotten the lead on big plays. One when Roosevelt Potts, with sheer second effort, tried to get up after catching a screen pass and falling. And when he gets up, he's hit. The ball comes loose, and Darrell Green goes 79 yards in about 8 seconds. And the Redskins get on the board. And then Clarence Verdun must have lost the ball in the lights, turned around, doinks off his shoulder pad. The Redskins recover and set up their second touchdown. The offense hasn't produced anything, and there is Potts, the young man who turned the ball over once early in the game that led Darrell Green's touchdown return. Howard and Mitchell are deep for the Redskins with 11 seconds to go. And we'll see what Biasucci does with it. Former Heisman winner out of Michigan, who had so many big plays in college, has yet to produce for the Redskins as a pro. But he certainly has the athletic skills, and they're counting on him to do that. Mitchell across the 30, but a little out, with 6 seconds to go in the half. And if the Redskins come out and take a knee, the crowd is going to get back into it against them.
Well, you know, that's the thing to do.
Oh, I think it's a smart play.
It's the only play to make, and let the crowd vent a little bit of their frustrations. Now go back in the locker room, regroup, and get ready for a second half of a game that is really turned out to be a more evenly matched in the score than it has been on the play field.
And they set up in their formation to take a knee. They do. Here's the expected reaction. But you're right. It's a good call. You don't want to take a chance and give them 7 more right at the end of the half. That's the end of the first half. Our score, the Washington Redskins 14, the Indianapolis Colts 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the accurate halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you very much.
Big game for both teams. The Redskins trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. The Colts trying to get to 4-4. They thought they had a chance for a division title this year, coming off a tremendous improvement from a year ago, but they have struggled. They seem to be getting better each week as Jeff George gets more experience. Only his 3rd start of the year tonight. There's Desmond Howard.
Offensively, the Redskins have had 1 out of 8 of their drives have netted more than 15 yards. I mean, it is just an offensive ineptitude.
Biasucci. Mitchell at the 3. Brian Mitchell to the 37-yard line. A return of 34 for Mitchell. And we talked about the stats in the first half, and the Redskins offense anemic at best. 25 passing, 31 rushing. Look at the Colts, 188 yards passing, yet they're down 14-10.
And the Redskins, they've had to commit more than their front 4 to stop the run. They've held them to 38 yards, but again, the big play hurt them.
Redskins in a 3 wide receiver set. Brooks the setback. And he'll get the carry on first down. Brooks across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Tackled there by Stargell and Parad.
Get an idea what the offensive passing game has been. Mark Rippon's passing attack. You see him working one side of the field, 2 out of 3 to the right, 3 out of 5 to the right. He absolutely has not thrown the football to the left side of the field. Everything has been to his right. The Redskins are flooding areas, and in this case, they're flooding it to the right.
2nd and 6. Brooks. And they just can't uncrank the ground game as John Hand makes yet another tackle.
Mo Elanoweeby this time trying to get outside position on John Hand. Hand just throws him aside. It really is. I think Elanoweeby is trying so hard, and Richie Pettibone talked about his football team. This is a very courageous football team, but a guy on 1.5 legs cannot block a guy on 2.
And there's Jim Lachey, their all-pro left tackle, who went down in the first preseason game out for the year with a ligament tear. Rip and throws complete to McGee in Colts territory at the 49. And up and down the line, Joe, that entire Redskin offensive line playing out of position, playing injured, and I think courage was the perfect word that you used. One of the few times tonight the Redskins offense has moved the sticks. They have it to 49. Ripping to throw on first down. Can't find anybody, and he's sacked. Sam Clancy, 6'7", 300 pounds, who did not play football at Pittsburgh, was a basketball player, drafted in the 3rd round by the Phoenix Suns, was cut in training camp.
But you got to give an awful lot of credit to the secondary of the Colts that time. That was a coverage sack. Good time by the offensive line of the Redskins. Rip sat in the pocket, looked, and they finally broke down. Rick Venturi giving those signals. Defensive coordinator likes what he sees so far.
2nd and 13 for the Redskins. Draw to Brooks. Closed down in a hurry. Got to the 50-yard line where it will be 3rd and 11.
Redskins need a play right here offensively. They need to pick up a first down. They have not contributed to the success of the first half by having the lead to 14-10.
3rd and long, 0 of 5 tonight, 21% on the year. Colts come with a blitz. Stargell off the corner. Rippin got away. Tries to float it for Biner out of bounds. The Colts try to disguise those blitzes. That time Stargell came off the corner.
Venturi likes to bring that 5th guy. He's not going to commit everybody. Watch him off the corner. He sneaks in. Now, it just so happens there's nobody there to block him. They had a free release by Biner out of the backfield. Now, Rip's trying to lay it up. See, Rip's got a bad wheel, too. He can't turn to make the kind of throw he wants to. There's another case of a guy playing courageously, but just not being effective.
Roby to kick to Verdane. Another low line drive. Verdane waves the arm, makes the fair catch at the 22-yard line. A punt of only 29 yards. There's a flag down on the play.
I believe what this is going to be is that he waved. A lot of people doing a lot of tomahawk chops out there.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the greatest fair catch signal you ever saw, but...
No, but he goes to the ground, and I don't think he came up running.
No, he didn't. Brad Seeley saying, hey, I saw him wave. We did too.
We have an invalid signal, number 83, 5 yards from the spot of the signal. First down. Timeout.
Got to have the hand over the head.
Oh, he got it up there. That's horrible.
We'll check out the spot of the ball when we come back.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. The Marines, You've got to be tough to play. You've got to be smart to win. And by Levi's loose-fitting jeans.
(14-10), Jim Hannafin talking to his offensive line troops on the sideline, trying to find a way to keep John Hand out of the backfield. To say we've had some strange things happen in this game is an understatement. Thankfully, we haven't had a skydiver yet. The Redskins defensive line surged that time. Al Noga in on the stop. What his best game as a Redskin.
What great anticipation. You'll see him come off the ball a half a snap quicker than everybody else, get through the gap, and make the penetration into the backfield. That was terrific.
Second and 14 for Jeff George. Potts on the toss. Sylvia got a piece of him, and then Banks put him down.
We saw Mark Rippon work one side of the field to his right. Now Jeff George has spread the ball out a lot more. There he is. He's got, there you are. 4 deep opportunities, 5 to the left, or 10 to the left, 7 to the right, some even in the backfield. Jeff George is making the Redskins defend the entire field.
3rd and 14 here. 6 defensive backs on the field. Potts, conservative play, and Noga in on another tackle along with Bobby Wilson. Bobby Wilson playing with a heavy heart tonight. His father passed away in the night last night. And it takes a lot of courage for that young man to be out there right now. That'll bring up a 4th and 9. And Darrell Green has dropped deep with Brian Mitchell. And now moving up as the short man for Ron Stark. And Redskins had a chance to block it, and here goes Stark. First down. Lamont Hollandquist came firing through, and a very quick thinking play by Ron Stark. If he punts it, it's stuck, and he takes off and runs for the first down.
Well, you wonder if this is a gutsy call or what. I personally think that is a play call. That's unbelievable.
Looked like it, didn't it?
Your own end.
When you saw the lineman on the right side go out to the right instead of downfield, it may have been. Talk about guts. Dawkins had it knocked away by Green. Great play by the veteran.
Watch the right part of your screen. Hollandquist coming in. He comes flying in. Nah, that's just heads-up play. That is not a call play. I didn't think Teddy was that much of a gambler. But that's some great heads-up play by Ron Stark.
Saves a block, maybe a touchdown, gets the first down. 2nd and 10 here. Clearance for Dan in as a wide receiver. Blitz, and Potts is dumped in the backfield. Palmer, Wilson, and Collins putting the pressure on, and Sterling Palmer, who was a risky draft choice out of Florida State because they said sometimes he took plays off, but a wealth of ability.
Number 97, right part of your screen. The Redskins just have too many men coming for the Colts to block. I mean, he's got a lot of speed, great height, and he showed some great athletic ability on that play.
Will Wolford talking to us last night about the way they blocked and the fact that they haven't developed as a unit yet. That may have been the result of that on the sack or hitting Potts in the backfield. 3rd and long for George. Pressure. Throws on the run. Alvoid Mays had it right in his hands and couldn't hold it. It was intended for Langhorne, but poorly thrown by Jeff George.
You know what's interesting? What you're starting to find out in this game about Jeff George is if he has to move out of the pocket, he does not see the field very well. He loses defensive players, I think, if he gets moving around. He just makes, this is just, I mean, he has a chance to make a throw. He just throws it right into Alvoid May's chest, and he can't hold on to it.
Mitchell and Green again deep. And Ron Stark hoping he can punt this one on 4th and 15. High sailing kick. Green makes the fair catch, the 43. Punt at 34. No return. 7:44 to go third quarter. The Redskins continue to lead. (14-10) Redskins. 7:44 to go third quarter.
There's Brad Seeley, the special teams coach for the Colts. Now, after that near block, they decide to make the adjustment, and what they do, number 35 is Culver. That's Radicek right there, the personal protector. They'll go over and finally pick up Holmquist coming in. Not one guy, but two guys to make sure that he is protected with the punt.
Excellent field position again for the Redskins. Ricky Irvin's number 32 in for the first time. Tailback is the Redskins' deepest position. Griffin double pump. Goes over the middle to his tight end. That's Ron Middleton. He's gang tackled. Quentin Corey at the first man there, the middle linebacker, along with Jeff Harrod. And that's Tim Johnson being refitted. You can see the wrap on his ribs.
Hey, this football team is literally held together by tape.
There aren't many out there you could say are healthy by a long shot. Ripping another short set. Whiteside, the H-back. The rookie from Maryland running hard, pushed out of bounds at the 23. Eugene Daniels shoved him out of bounds, but Maryland's all-time leading receiver, who came out as a junior, has an impact, but there's a marker down back across midfield. And back it comes.
Yeah, there may have been a penalty, but you can't take away from the fact that this is one of those young guys that's going to really have to stand up and make some plays. He's got great hands, but the thing that impresses the coaches is he can really run after he catches the ball, and the thing that disappoints the coach is a penalty after a big play.
Holding. Number 64, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Mo Elowanibi.
Mo Elowanibi has had his hands full tonight with John Hand. There he is right there. Left end of the line of scrimmage. Rocks back. Tries to set himself. He trips, and then he trips him.
Middleton in the flat. Dragged down in a hurry by Stargell.
People have talked about the Redskin offense, Mike, not being any kind of a vertical passing game. And I have yet to see him throw the ball down the field tonight, but once to Ricky Sanders, I believe in the first quarter.
Right.
That's the only time they've actually tried to get the ball down the field. If you just send people on straight goes, you have to do it. There you are.
Two tight ends, nothing to the running backs yet. The one to Wycheck was wiped out by the penalty. 3rd and 13. Rippon trying to find somebody and overthrows Sanders. Stargell was right there. And the Boo Birds are out at RFK.
Tough throw when you're a quarterback, trying to throw back into the middle of coverage. I mean, a lot of bad things can happen. Very few good things when you try and make that throw.
Roby to kick to Verdand. To waste it to 16. Nickname is CNN. They asked him why. He said, because I run my mouth 24 hours a day. Verdand at the 20. Got a seam. Still on his feet out at the 35-yard line. A return to 15 after a punt of 39. 5:49 to go third quarter. Jim Hannafin talking to Mo Elowanibi. Back in a moment. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the seat of power in our nation's capital. You know things are bad if you're a football coach, if you're having a worse year than the president is. George on the run, throws, Potts makes the catch up to the 37-yard line. A lot of change going on in Washington this year. New vice president, new president. 14% of the Senate is new, 27% of the House. Then you go to the Redskins, new head coach, new coordinators all around. 6 new starters on offense, 4 new on defense. Capitol Hill 1, Redskins nothing so far, would you say? Richie Pettibone would agree. Honest to a fault. You ask him a question, he gives you an answer. Always has, always will. George flushed out of the pocket again. Complete to the sideline. Hester, was he in bounds? No. And there's a flag down. The Colts really beefing on the sideline. Only got 1 foot down. We'll check the penalty back at the 39. The illegal man downfield.
That is such a tough thing for the offensive lineman to figure out when your quarterback's going to break it upfield, when he's going to try and move it down the field. I would think that the Colts in general have to believe that Jeff George will not run down the field, so there's no sense going down and blocking anybody.
Number 73 downfield. The penalty is declined. Take the result of the play. 3rd down.
That's Zephyrus Moss, the right tackle. I was just going to say it had to be harder with you playing quarterback because your guys, you know, had to be aware of your run.
My guys used to yell at me all the time. They used to say, make a decision. I think in Jeff George's case, the decision would be don't go downfield. I'm not running.
3rd and 7. George on a half roll. May have been tipped by Darrell Green, then hit the chest of Sean Dawkins. And Jeff George obviously upset by the result of that one. He said, make the play.
That's the second one he's dropped. Darrell Green knocked it away from him. Here they run. He runs a little stop and go. Gets by the first guy. Plants. Comes back. Lets the ball hit him right in the chest and doesn't do it. And Jeff George really let him know. You got to make the play. That's something neither teams have done on offense tonight.
Single safety this time. Mitchell waiting on start. Short kick. Gets a good bounce for the Colts, however. And will die at the 21-yard line. A punt of 41 with the roll. Low-scoring ball game. 4:38 to go. 3rd quarter. Back in a moment. That's Desmond Howard watching from the sideline, the last place he wants to be. The Redskins running a 3 wide receiver offense, the 4th pick in the 92 draft. The Redskins traded up to get that pick. And he has literally had no impact in his professional career, like most rookies who hold out and top draft choices do. His first year was virtually a waste, but nothing has happened here in the second season. Reggie Brooks, the deep man Leon. Griffin throws to Wycheck. Wycheck makes something happen every time he gets the ball. Gain of 14.
They continue to throw the little short pass to the right part of your screen. Rippon with a 5-step drop. You can count them. Plant, set, and fire. That's what they would like to do. They would like to keep the ball in that kind of a rhythm. Wycheck delivers the hammer and picks up a few extra yards.
Believe it or not, that is the longest completion the Redskins have had tonight. Play action. Griffin has to step up. Guns that one behind Sanders. Ambrose was the closest player to it, the defensive back for the Colts, and the Boo Birds are out again.
The coordination, I guess I'm hard pressed to understand how you can practice all week and the coordination of your passing game at least doesn't have the ball close to where it's supposed to go. no matter whose fault it is, it just there's no semblance of it.
Boy, and that one wasn't close. Monk and motion. Brooks. A nice block from Middleton. Brooks to the 46. Jason Belzer made the tackle. Ron Middleton, the tight end, came over and devastated his man to make that hole.
Ron Middleton's like a pulling guard. This time he'll come over in motion this way, make the play, and you'll see Brooks cut it up inside. He comes over, kicks out on McClendon. Great block. He's trying to bring Reggie Brooks down with one arm. That's not going to happen. The young guy's making things happen for the Redskins.
Brooks, who started only his senior year at Notre Dame, but is going to be a terrific player. And the Colts have burned a timeout with 3:30 to go, third quarter. Back in a moment.
Now for the Levi's Loose Jeans Player of the Day.
Our player of the day, Barry Sanders. He of the Mercurial Feet, 187 yards today. He now has 977 yards to lead the NFL, and he's very close to joining Dickerson and Dorsett as the only men to rush for 1,000 or more in their first 5 seasons. Back to Mike and Joe.
All right, Boomer. Joe, he's my player of the day every day he plays. He's just incredible.
You know, if they could get a little more of a compliment around them, Detroit offensively would be literally unstoppable. I think they'd be a lot like the Cowboys.
Among the other noteworthy things that happened in the NFL, Don Shula denied his record-breaking victory today, trying for 325 to pass the legendary George Halas. Our congratulations in advance to Don Shula, one of the brilliant coaches. And, of course, it was the Jets that did it to him again. Miami has just had fits with him for years. Brooks on the draw. Parad was waiting for him, got him around the knees to bring him down. Parad is a courageous player coming back off a dislocated ankle. They thought he'd be out 8 to 10 weeks. Came back in about half of that. And the coaches say they really feed off of his enthusiasm as a defensive player.
Still wears a brace on that ankle, so his lateral movement is hampered a little bit. And Quentin Corriette, behind Steve Ettman, was a playmaker, but in the middle linebacker position, he's still trying to get comfortable. He hasn't been able to make any big plays.
2nd and 6 for the Redskins, trying to get something going on offense. Monk, end around. Nothing. Nice play by Daniel coming up from the corner. A very aggressive tackler. And the 10-year veteran wasn't fooled.
As soon as you say the guy's not anticipating, watch number 55. He's going to start moving right on the snap of the ball. He's going to take his key and take off to the right. There he is. He's moving away. He doesn't even look at Ripon. He reads his key, gets out there, forces the play.
3rd and 7 now. Corriette was an inside linebacker in a 3-4 at Texas A&M, which is the defense the Colts used to run before they got Ettman. Comes the blitz. Ripon with time. McGee to the 1. A 42-yard strike beating Ashley Ambrose. It's a good call by Rod Dowhour, the offensive coordinator, anticipating the single coverage. He gets it against Tim McGee. Right here. Ripon's going to sprint out. McGee's going to make the move and just go right up the field. They've got the coverage they want. He moves away from the blitz, sets, throws. Ball's put outside perfectly away from the defensive back. You got 1st and goal at the half-yard. Excellent throw, excellent concentration. Excellent opportunity. McGee, the free agent from Cincinnati, who's replacing Jerry Clark. Boy, after struggling so much, that's got to feel good.
I'll tell you, as a quarterback, it does. I mean, there's a breath of fresh air in this game.
1st and goal from a foot away. Mitchell, the deep man. Ripon, the quarterback keeper again. One official is signaling touchdown. They got it. Mark Rippon using that 6'4", 230 frame to get it in.
Remember, the only thing that has to get in the end zone is the ball. Rip just getting enough of the ball in.
Rippon with 3 carries tonight has a whole yard, but more importantly, he has 2 whole touchdowns. Lohmiller for the point after. He missed it. So instead of an 11-point lead where you'd need 2 touchdowns to win, it is now 20-10.
Now, Pat Eilers is the holder, and he has only done it for a very short period of time. There's the spot. There's the ball. There's the hold. It's not the holder. It's definitely the kicker. That has to get across the line of scrimmage is the ball. Right, has to break the plane. Good search by the offensive line. See the ball? That ball is right there. See, right there's the ball. Right there's the line. That's why you got yourself a touchdown.
Chip Lohmiller had converted 213 straight points after. The second longest streak in the history of the NFL. Tommy Davis had 234, but the streak is over.
You'll remember, Mark Rippon started the season as the holder. Got hurt in the Phoenix game. Lohmiller went and asked for somebody to hold, and it wound up being Eilers.
Verdun from the 1. Hurdles the man out to the 26. And Pat Eilers and Desmond Howard were down on special teams.
The last time Pat Eilers held, Mike, was at St. Thomas Academy in Minnesota when he was in high school. And I just, you know, when you've got a defensive back who's not used to doing it, you basically take away, if it was a field goal, you take away any element of a fake. So,
sure.
I mean, you really put a lot of pressure on your kicking and blocking team.
Colts now down by 10. Anthony Johnson is into the ballgame. Remember, he's an excellent pass receiver out of the backfield. George looking his way and hits him out to the 34-yard line. The Colts used him a great deal early in the season until people started covering him with a defensive back, and he became ineffective. Against the linebacker, he's tough to cover.
Colts going with a no-huddle offense, not giving the Redskins a chance to substitute.
On 2nd and 1, they've got the first down. Johnson makes the catch again out to the 41. And, of course, Ted Marchibroda, famous for this in his previous job as offensive coordinator with the Bills.
And when we talked to him last night, they did not anticipate the no-huddle, but certainly Jeff George is capable of doing it, and he's executing it right now.
Prevents the Redskins from getting the 6 DBs on the field against this personnel. This one's incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Kerry Cash, who hasn't caught a ball tonight. Now the Redskins run the extra players on.
What happens there, Mike, is what they try and do is, here's a tight end. Now, they've got the 3 receivers up here. They try and get the Redskins to think that way and then come back down low to get it to the tight end, who's the uncovered man. Good. Oh, he just slipped. That's what happened there.
George, 19 out of 32, 206 yards. Now make it 20 completions as Johnson makes the catch near midfield. He'll be about 3 yards shy of a first down. 5th pass completion to Anthony Johnson, the 4-year man out of Notre Dame. Clock running down here in the 3rd quarter. 16 seconds to go. Four-man rush, no pressure. Completed pass to the 40-yard line. Jesse Hester in front of Tom Carter. It will be a first down for the Colts It's also the end of the third quarter. Our score from RFK, the Redskins 20, the Colts 10. David Brinkley, one of the guests of Mr. Cook tonight here at RFK. And you look up in Mr. Cook's booth week after week, and the who's who of media and power in the nation's capital. Ted Marchibroda acknowledged what a huge game this is for his ball club. If they can get to 4-4, then they can think about some other things down the road, like getting into the playoffs, continuing to develop their squad. But you've got to get to 500 first. Right now, they need 2 scores. 1st and 10. The Redskins 40 for Jeff George. Blitz. George throws off the back foot. Incomplete. Darrell Green with the coverage on Jesse Hester.
There was another one of those passes that he likes to throw. Even though he's throwing off his back foot, it's a flat pass behind the receiver. Let him try and make the play. Top of your screen, number 28 up against number 84. Now this ball is thrown. Darrell's not looking. Ball's thrown quick. Hester can't make it.
Another blitz. George with time. Incomplete. Collins with the coverage on Johnson. Andre Collins, another player who was hurt earlier in the year for the Redskins, and they think he is their best linebacker.
He was the guy who was going to fill the shoes of Wilbur Marshall. He was going to be that wreak havoc in the backfield linebacker. Carl Banks was going to play over the tight end. Not a real mobile guy in space, but was going to give him a solid run stopper over the tight end. Now, the other thing about Andre Collins, he never comes off the field. He's out there on every play.
Colts have only converted 1 out of 8 third and long situations tonight. They face 3rd and 10. Another blitz. Collins. Right up the gut.
When you don't have any backs in the backfield and you've got 5 offensive linemen and 6 rushers, you better get the ball off. And in this case, Jeff George does not, and Andre Collins eats him. There's no back to pick up. They block with 5, rush with 6. You're the quarterback. He's your guy.
Stark on to punt again. End over end and short. Mitchell has to let it bounce, and the Colts kill it outside the 20-yard line. A punt of only 28 yards.
You know, Mike, that's a nice call by Richie Pettibone. If the Colts don't have any backs back there and you rush more guys than they have up front, if you can get to him, the sack's going to happen. If he gets away, you're going to wind up giving up another big play. That time it worked in Richie's favor.
14 minutes and 16 seconds left for Jeff George in this ball game. They're down by 10, and Reggie Brooks is back in for the Redskins at tailback. John Hand waiting for him. Gain of maybe 1. John Hand is having a career in this ball game, and one of the Redskins is hurt, something they have feared all night long. And it's Mo El-Wanibi, the left tackle, who came in hurt, as did Jeff Bostic and Raleigh McKenzie.
You'll see him come in from the right part of your screen right here. He's just going to come in and make the play like he has all night. He just squares up. Nobody really blocks him. Doesn't take the fake that Brooks tries to throw him and make the tackle.
And his replacement out of Texas El Paso, a second-year man drafted in the 8th round a year ago, Darrell Moore, who until this game had not played it down from scrimmage. At that exposed left tackle slot, and they have Middleton, the tight end, over there to help him. Rip and throw to the other side. The short completion. Desmond Howard pick up about 4. One thing about those short pass patterns, if you don't have receivers breaking tackles, You don't get any big plays.
No, you don't. And, they're the kind of ones you want to run on 1st and 10, Mike, not on 2nd and 3rd down. For instance, in this case, you could run it again because you got 3rd and 3. But that's really designed to substitute for a run on 1st and 10.
Eluanibi is back in to face John Hand at that left tackle slot. Rippon with a little half roll, throws to Monk, knocked down at the 34-yard line. It'll be a 1st down. And again, they gave Eluanibi some help this time with the tight end as they did more on the last play.
That's just smart football. What you do is you put the tight end over on the left side. John Hand's been having his way with Eluanibi. You slide the line that way, and you block the toughest guy out there. And then if you need a play, you go to the guy who's been making them for you all those years, Art Monk. Nice catch, knows exactly where the 1st down marker is. 1st down, Redskins.
Eugene Daniel was in on the tackle, but it's a 1st down, Washington. Brooks. Hit in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Parod, Pickett, and Coriat all there, the entire linebacking core.
It looks like Rick Venturi and the Colt defense have just made their mind up that they're not going to allow the Redskins to run the football. They're going to make Rippon throw the ball. And except for one play tonight, they've been very effective shutting down the Redskin offense.
And look at the yardage, less than half of their season's average. Rick Venturi, former head coach, now the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach. Gone to the 4-3. Second and 9, Rippon the screen to Brooks. Blockers in front. Brooks has a chance. And fights his way inside the 25-yard line. Jason Belcher got a free ride for about 15 yards.
That was very similar to the play they had set up in the 1st half, but were unable to complete the pass. This time, Rippon does get the ball off. Look to your right. Brooks just slides out. Real quick screen. Now turn and find people. They caught the Colts blitzing again. Oh, Brooks does a beautiful job of setting up Bostic for the block that allows him to pick up 25 more yards.
And Ernest Feiner has come in to give Brooks a breather. 1st and 10 Redskins at the Colts 23. Rippon. And it's caught on the rebound by Wycheck. Of Desmond Howard, and the rookie was there. Bumper football. A little less drama than the immaculate reception, but the Redskins were glad to see it.
They'll take any help right now. Out to your right. Rip fires it. Ball's out to the right a little bit. Howard tries to make a play. Wycheck just waits for the ball to come down. Little chip in.
As we said before, when he's on the field, he makes plays. Feiner, 1st down, spins inside the 10.
Mark Rippon in the 1st half was 6 for 13 for 45 yards. The 2nd half, he's 9 for 12 for 145 yards.
And the Redskins with a chance to get a lot of breathing room here.
Colts have got to stop the Redskins from scoring a touchdown. And that way they'll only need 2 touchdowns to get a 1-point lead. If they let them score, they'll need 3 scores to make it happen in 10 minutes.
Brooks back in the tailback. 2 tight ends for the Redskins. Brooks to the 5. Pickett and Coriat made the tackle. One of the few bright spots for the Redskins this year. Once they get inside the 20, they've done a great job at getting it in the end zone. 12 touchdowns out of 17 tries. Tonight, they are 2 for 2 in that category. Wycheck in the flat. Lost the football. And now the real fight begins underneath the pile. Wycheck was surrounded by 4 Colts. And the indication is the Redskins got it back. Wycheck must be as strong as an ox if he got that one back.
He's athletic, he's agile, and he must be strong, too.
And here comes the pushing and shoving. The Colts are saying we have the football. But an official has already indicated the Redskins have it. And Rick Venturi is going nuts.
Football is recovered by Washington. Is their ball. 3rd down. 3rd and goal. Washington ball.
Rippon fires it out to the flat to Wycheck. He gets popped real good on the corner by Ashley Ambrose. There's the ball on the ground. Now who's got it? Where is it? It's in a mess. I don't know. Wycheck wound up with it.
Rippon for Howard. Out of bounds. Tried to drag the toes. Laid out for it. Would have been shades of the Heisman season at Michigan.
Just getting a little better every week. Right part of your screen. Rip hangs up the corner. Desmond lays out. Just can't get both toes in. Venturi with a little body English helping it out.
Lohmiller will come on for a 24-yard field goal attempt out of Eiler's hole. And he got it. Well, the Redskins had a chance to maybe put it away. Instead, they extend their lead to 13.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your Bud.
Jim Irsay, the Colts general manager, who has really done a fine job of upgrading the talent level on this football team in the last couple of years. Very aggressive in free agent signing. Went out and got Loudermilk and Wolford to shore up an awful offensive line. And it's made a difference. Verdun from the 5. Wycheck makes the tackle at the 25. The drive for the Redskins, 71 yards, took nearly 6 minutes off the clock, the most impressive one of the night for the Redskins.
Yeah, but the key play in that was a screen to Reggie Brooks. Rippon does a good job getting back. It's sort of a quick screen. Now watch what Brooks does. He's got Jeff Bostic, 53, out in front. See how he just looks for him to help out? That allows him to pick up 25 more yards.
The Colts, who are one of the better teams in the league, scoring in the 4th quarter, 45 points so far this year, are going to need 14 at least. George to Hester, ridden out of bounds at the 36 by Carter, the rookie from Notre Dame, who's been a very pleasant addition to the secondary.
It's interesting. Tom Carter said the biggest difference in this game is the quarterbacks, their ability to get the ball in.
Noga trying to put pressure on. Hester, same pattern, same result. Maybe a yard short of a first down. He's second and about 1. They remain in the shotgun. 4-man rush. George can't find anybody. Now does Johnson, and he dives for the first down and has it at the Colts 47-yard line.
Just like this has seemed like a football game that has 2 separate heads going. You know, first quarter nothing, second quarter something. The Colts have come out. Potts has not played much at all in the second half, the running back. They've gone to Johnson, the passing back, and they've opened up their attack.
7.5 minutes left. Twice this year, the Colts have scored 14 in the 4th quarter. George with time, and look at Darrell Green. brilliant closing speed to get right on top of Sean Dawkins.
Perfect timing, top left. Look at Darrell close on the ball. He has been a nightmare for Dawkins all day today.
Second and 10 for the Colts. Four-man rush. Flag is down. The pass complete to Johnson. What a catch. Collins was all over him. Marker down.
Offsides, number 97 defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined. Result of play is a first down.
Sterling Palmer was the man offside, but what a catch.
What a great job by George. Looking downfield, scramble, doesn't really know where to go, and then just lays it up. Terrific concentration. Look at that. Collins actually has his arm in between he and the ball.
George with a short stuff again to Hester. Double team, dragged out of bounds. Gained about 3. Coleman and Carter made the tackle.
They continue to work the right side. I mean, they've got Darrell Green on Dawkins. You've got an all-pro on a rookie. You may as well go to Hester against the rookie. That's what they're doing.
Here comes the blitz. To the sideline, an incomplete. Cash nearly made the catch the 14-yard line. Monty Coleman back in coverage, and Jordan's running for his life.
Jeff George has got such incredible confidence in his arm. He scrambles out and throws the ball 35 yards downfield on a rope. Now, he does a great job of turning his hips, but this ball is muscled. And look at the touch. It's almost a perfect pass.
And Monty Coleman just got a finger on it. 3rd and 6. Another blitz. Let's see if the Redskins were offside or if there was movement in the offensive line.
False start. Number 69 offense. 5 yards. Moving prior to the snap. 3rd down.
That'll make it 3rd and 11. That's Randy Dixon. Let me ask you, Joe, looking ahead of play, if they don't get the first down here, are you in 4th down territory needing 2 scores?
Yes, you are. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be opposed to trying to complete a 7-8 yard pass, come up 4th down and 3 or 4, and then let Johnson work one-on-one to pick up the first down. They're going to have to go on 4th down if they get there.
Redskins show a 3-man rush. George with all day to throw, and it's dropped. Dawkins had it right in his chest, and look at Jeff George. He has been all over Dawkins tonight. That's what, the 3rd drop? And he has ripped them after every one.
And they have not been tough catches. That's the thing. He has hit him right in the chest with every one of these passes. That's okay. I mean, they've got to get it done anyway. Watch this. Right, it's going to be in the middle of the screen. George just wings this thing in. I mean, it's just poor concentration by Dawkins.
4th and 11. And we've got a timeout. 6:14 to go in the game. Back in a moment. Redskins by 13 with 6:14 to go in the game. A big play not made by the Colts on the last play. Watch the drop by Dawkins.
Sean Dawkins supposed to be a big play guy for them. He lets the ball get to his body, and it just gets away from him again. I mean, he's dropped 3 balls, and Jeff George, he's trying his heart out, but you got to get some help.
I think Jeff George just crossed him off his Christmas card list. 4th and 11. Blitz. The sack. Gouveia will get credit for the sack, but I think it was Bobby Wilson who got there first and forced George to run.
Got to give credit to the secondary that time. That would be called a coverage sack. Take a look at everybody covered. There's absolutely nowhere to go with the football. Jeff George has got to eat it, but I still think in this case, on 4th down, you got to put the ball in the air somewhere. Pick out the guy that you think that can jump the highest or muscle the guy away or anything. You got to get it up in the air.
Redskins take over near midfield. They'll work on the clock. Brooks got away from Ham. Brooks to the 32. The Colts trying to tackle the football. Tough night for Sean Dawkins.
Sean Dawkins is going to be an excellent receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, but he hasn't been tonight. And Jeff George is upset, and he has every right to. All you can do is put it out there. Guys have to make plays.
Brooks, room to run on the right side. Inside the 20 to the 17-yard line, and the Redskins get another great seal block on the right side. Brooks, 20 carries, 99 yards.
Right side of the line, Redskins just absolutely collapse it up top. Wycheck with an excellent block. Brown, 67, with an excellent block.
Brown is playing that tackle spot because Ed Simmons went down last week. He's gone for a month. 4:49 left in the game. Redskins trying to put it away. Play action. Wycheck. Ambrose knocks him out of bounds, but it looked like he got another first down. An impressive second-half performance by Frank Wycheck.
This guy catches everything. He catches it so smooth. I mean, you saw how Dawkins was fighting the ball on his catch. Watch Wycheck. He's out of the backfield. It's just so smooth. I mean, just like a stroll downtown. And then he picks up 4 more yards by showing some nifty running ability.
Jack Kent Cook hasn't been able to do much of that this year. This would only be the second victory in 8 games. But remember what Richie Pettibone said. We need to break the streak. We still have a shot. Brooks again. More room to run. Near the 2.
What you do now, if you're the Redskins, you've got second down. You run the ball all the time. You don't even think about putting it in the air. You just run the ball because it does 2 things. It eats time off the clock, and your offensive line should be able to get 1 yard in free cracks.
And even if they don't, it doesn't matter. You kick the field goal, you're up by 16. 105 yards for Brooks. Brian Mitchell and Biner come into the backfield. Mitchell. Touchdown. Jack Kent Cook, a very proud man. He has built a very proud franchise. And smiles
version
all
of it,
around.
yeah. That was a version of the counter track.
Lohmiller for the point after. Brian Mitchell hasn't played much tonight, but this is a big play for him and the Skins. Redskins by 20 with 3:52 to go in the game. For Dan from the 11. Carter shoves him out of bounds at the 28-yard line. The 202nd consecutive sellout for the Redskins. Here's the Budweiser storyline. Jeff George, 264 yards tonight, but couldn't put any points on the board. Brooks, 105 yards rushing. As usual, the team with the turnovers is going to lose. 3 for the Colts tonight. And in the first half, the Redskins had an anemic 56 yards. They get 220 here in the second half. Finally showed some life in the offense. Don Mikowski was warming up, but Jeff George stays in the ballgame. Throws to Langhorne. That's the first catch he's made in the second half after getting 7 in the first half. 8 catches, 147 yards. And they'll whistle this one dead. Either Charles Mann got off early or Zafros Moss moved.
False start. Number 74 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Schultz, the right guard.
One of those statistics that just jumps at you is turnovers. Here you see turnovers. If you don't turn the ball over, the record's 21-2 this year in the league. 1 turnover, 39-13, 2, 28-33. If you turn the ball over 3 times or more, you win 13 so far, and you lose 54. That has been the story of this game tonight.
To make it 55. First and 15 after the penalty. Sidearm to Langhorne. Darrell Green and Coleman take him down.
The important thing for the Colts now is to get some kind of a score. Just play this game now. Play for a score.
George throws underneath. Langhorne again. We asked Langhorne about the fine on Chuck Cecil and defensive backs making big hits on receivers, and he said, I'm not concerned about those fines. I'm concerned about the $6,000 I've been fined for having my socks come down or having a towel when it's raining. See, those are the fines that are killing me. Johnson, little screen, and gets out of bounds at the 23. Andre Collins over on the cover. Why do you feel it's important to get the score now? Just you got a game next week and the week after that?
Yeah, but you see, going into next week game, if you score here, you leave here with at least a positive feeling that you haven't dropped the ball, you haven't thrown an incompletion, you haven't thrown an interception, you got yourself some points on the board. It's something to build on. You're always looking for something positive to build on in the game.
Sean Dawkins is not in there now. Aaron Kotz is the 3rd wide receiver. This one's batted up in the air. Darrell Green came away and knocked it loose again. So people concentrate on his speed. He is far more than speed. He's an exceptional cornerback.
This is the best year that he has had in 3 years. He talked about looking at both the quarterback and the wide receiver. See his eyes? They're looking this way. Here's the receiver back here. He's got that pick. That just bounced off his arms.
3rd and 5. George toward the end zone and tipped away by A.J. Johnson. Intended for Clarence Verdun.
Redskins defense has played very, very well tonight. I think the most solid of the units. The special teams did a good job all night. The offense finally caught on.
4th and 5 with 2:09 to go in the game. Colts down by 20. Comes the blitz. George has the first down. Hester inside the 15-yard line. Green on the stop, and we have reached the 2-minute warning here at RFK. The Redskins on the verge of breaking that 6-game losing streak, the longest in 30 years. At 1-6, most people had written off the '93 season for the Redskins. Most people, but not all of them.
I think, and I think we all believe that we're very capable of going on a streak the other way. You know, a lot of people would like to write this season off, but I'm convinced that I know 9-7 is going to get in the playoffs. I'm not so sure 8-8 in the right combination is not going to get in the playoffs. And I think once we get our first one under our belt, I think we're capable of doing it.
That's the thing about Richie Pettibone's honesty. I don't know if there are many coaches anywhere in football who would be 1-6 in this league, playing as poorly as they have, beaten up as they are, and say, hey, we got a chance to make the playoffs. Colts 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Langhorne taken out of bounds. Jeff Bostic, one of the old Warriors, now the starting center, limped on the field last week. Art Monk, the all-time leading receiver. Joe, there's some guys on this team who have shown, like Monty Coleman, a lot of class, a lot of character for a lot of years.
And a lot of courage. A lot of them are playing Nick. Gerald Green's having the best year he's had in the last 3 or 4. Came in with a great attitude and really provided a lot of leadership for these young guys. This is a team in transition.
George trying to get the Colts on the board one more time. End zone touchdown to Cash. Only the 2nd receiving touchdown of the year for Kerry Cash, and Joe, the Colts got exactly what you said they needed.
And they ran a very efficient 2-minute drill from a no-huddle offense, something they have not done much all year. Now they had a chance to break it out. It became a very productive part of the game for them. Jim Irsay still wondering when it's going to turn around, when everybody's going to be on the field healthy. He's got the same problem. He loses that, you know, the big defensive tackle in Etman. I mean, you got the man that you changed your whole defensive philosophy for out again this year.
2nd year in a row, really blew out a knee, the other knee that had not been injured a year ago. And Etman in 2 seasons has played only 14 games, just a brilliant player. There's Kerry Cash, who made the touchdown grab.
This is just a seam route. Finds the soft spot in the zone that the Redskins are playing. George looks outside, checks the middle, and then just sets and fires it in the seam. Kurt Gouveia trying to cover Cash. That's not going to happen. Gouveia's a middle linebacker.
Jeff George career highs, 33 out of 53 tonight, 341 yards. SportsCenter, of course, follows our telecast. Hope you'll stay tuned for that. Week 10 in the NFL, the recap, and another look at Bo Holyfield and the skydiver, and a conversation with Charlie Ward with one of the big games of his life coming up next weekend. The visit to South Bend in the cold and maybe the flurry.
Going up to play the Irish. I tell you, Charlie Ward is a great athlete. Great athlete. Does a lot of things well. There's Jeff George. You know, to me, that shows an awful lot. There's a guy who hasn't made some plays for you all night. You get upset with him in the framework of the game. But now Jeff's sitting over there just explaining to him, saying, listen, man, we're in this thing together. You know, you got to learn from it. I'm not going to shy away from you. I still need you to make plays for me. So let's just put this one behind us and get it done.
And you really like his approach as a quarterback, don't you?
I like him. I like his toughness. I like his cocky attitude. I like his gun. And tonight he showed me an awful lot of leadership out there on this football team. He was right when he said he is the leader of the offense.
Colts set up for the onside kick. Biasucci looking for that second bounce, and they have a crack at it. No signal yet.
Now they start pulling people off the pile.
Colts ball. So the onside kick worked. The Redskins tried it early, nearly worked.
This ball takes a great bounce for the Colts.
And Jeff George will get another crack at it. And now tempers flaring again. Viner and Langhorne. There's a flag down on the play. A couple of former Cleveland Browns talking to each other. And let's see what the officials have sorted out. Personal foul against the Redskins.
Art Monk, a part of, they call this the hands team on the receiving team when they have their onside kick on. They're all the guys with the best hands out there. Art goes down to try and make a play on it, just bounces off his chest. Now it's one of those free-for-alls. Depends on who's the strongest guy at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, it's a scrum now.
I used to hate that. I was never strong enough. I'd have it getting down there, and then I'd never keep it because the big guys, and they would pull at you and tear at you and get it away.
So the Colts with another opportunity from the Redskins 40. George goes deep down the sideline, out of bounds. Hester covered well by Carter. Colts with only one timeout remaining. And you know if they can score, you'll see the onside kick again.
I'll tell you, if they score and they get an onside kick, you're going to see one Richie Pettibone get real upset and one Ted Marchibroda right there start to get a whole lot of fire. Not that he doesn't have it still.
2nd and 10. Marchibroda, one of the good guys in this business. George changing the play. Four-man rush. Complete to Johnson. Hit immediately and taken down by A.J. Johnson.
Yeah, I think when you're running a 2-minute offense, which they're in now, which is different than the hurry-up, you already pre-call plays. You just run 2 plays, get up there, yell out 2 plays, make them the same. Throw to different people if you want, but make them the same.
Anthony Johnson with 9 catches out of the backfield, 3rd and 4. Johnson open again, instead over the middle, complete. Langhorn to the 17, 18-yard line. Al Boyd made the tackle. 1:06 to go. And the Colts used their last timeout. Well, all the people that started to leave RFK have turned around and come back.
They have stopped.
See if they can find their seats again. Now, there are the empty seats. I tell you, there weren't many at the beginning of this game, which is a tribute to the fans in this city. Of course, Mr. Cook is not going to leave.
That hug that he gave his wife, he said, I don't know now. I mean, we were excited before. Both of them, both Marlena and Mr. Cook, looking and wondering.
It's sort of like Red Auerbach cigar. You can't light it too early.
You get that match out, but you're in trouble. Reggie Langhorn, even though the Redskins have scored 30 points and the Colts have only scored 17, Langhorn's got 12 catches for 203 yards. Both are career highs.
The tough, clutch receiver, a guy who will go over the middle for you, has excellent hands. 1:06 left, first down for the Colts. George under pressure. Still has time. Now he'll run and get out of bounds.
Great job of coverage by the Redskins secondary. See, I don't understand this. You're moving the ball. You're in the shotgun. You're moving the ball. You're in the shotgun. You're moving the ball. All of a sudden, you call a timeout. Now you go up under center. I only think that makes it more difficult for Jeff George as he's running this offense.
2nd and 5 with 56 seconds left. The Colts trying to make it interesting. George forced out of the pocket again. Johnson. Tough sack, breaks the tackle, dives the 1-foot line. Clock running.
Now Jeff George has got to get to the line and ground the ball. And that's what Ted Marchibroda is saying. Get up and ground it. Hurry up. Get up and ground it.
And George doesn't see the signal from the sideline. He's trying to set up a play. And this one's incomplete. That'll stop the clock, but they wasted about 12, 13 seconds.
More than that. They wasted close to 20 seconds. He's trying to make a play. I'll tell you, 3 or 4 more games down the road, I don't think he does that. I think he gets to the line of scrimmage. I think he grounds the ball.
Verdan and Langhorne go to the left. Hester to the right. Touchdown. Clarence Verdan, there's a flag down.
Going to call pass interference against the Redskins.
Pass interference. Number 25 defense in the end zone. The penalty is declined. Result of play is a touchdown.
That's Tom Carter. And Richie Pettibone, as you predicted, is getting upset. 19 seconds to go. Biasucci for the point after would cut the lead to 6. And they'll try the onside kick again.
Mike, as long as I've played with the Redskins, as long as I've lived in the city and watched the Redskins, somehow the Redskins are going to give you 60 minutes of football. Some way, shape, or form. They're either going to score 100 points and give you 60, or they're going to get a lead and let it creep away. This is a quick post, top left of your screen, number 83, Clarence Verdan. Just runs the post on Carter. Carter can't stop him. Winds up with the 6.
The numbers on Jeff George now, 37 of 59, both career highs. 376 yards, a career high. 3 touchdowns, ties a career high.
But then he goes right back over after he throws touchdowns to his veteran receivers. He goes right back over, sits next to Sean Dawkins, and continues a dialogue and conversation with him. He really wants him not to get down.
He's got the ice bag on a hyperextended left knee. The Colts have scored 14 points in the last 131, and they will set up for the onside kick again.
You really think so?
Yeah.
There's your hands. It's called the hands team. This is the receiving team that's out there for onside kicks. It's Monk, McGee, Eilers, everybody that touches a ball a lot. Your receivers, your defensive backs, Monty Coleman, just because he's got great hands.
Colts now have 405 yards in total offense. That's the 4th time this year the Redskins have allowed more than 400 yards. Biasucci can do it again. And the Redskins cover. Andre Collins got the football. And it looks like the Redskins have preserved the win after being scared out of their wits, leading 30-10 and watching the Colts get 14. And Mr. Cook, I think it's time for another hug.
This is a counter hug. This is like the hug you can put in the bank. And Jim Irsay, all he can do is sit and look at a football team that's improving. And, you know, Ted Marchibroda, I thought, really made some very profound statements when he said that this football team as a whole is learning how to win, and it's got to keep on winning, and it had to win 2 in a row for confidence. You know, like last year they beat some of the backup quarterbacks, but they haven't beat the Kellys, the Marinos, and the Redskins team, even though they beat up our good football team.
And Kerry Conklin in to kill the clock, the last play of the ball game. Richie Pettibone has some of the edge taken off the win, but not much. When you're 1-6, it's sweet. And John Hand, a huge game tonight. Mark Rippon, a fine second half. And the Redskins break the 6-game losing streak, the longest in 30 years. Our final score, the Redskins 30, the Colts 24. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from the nation's capital. SportsCenter is next after this.